Hey wadau, after our conversation featuring Rufus Kamau kwa mambo ya Bitcoin, I found myself totally sold on the concept ya cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin is the one asset that gives you full sovereignty.
So if I buy Bitcoin on the platform, if I exchange money on the platform, where else do I take it?
That's a very good question. So
our objective on this one is very simple. Hii kitu ya cryptocurrency ni legit ama it's just another pyramid scheme?
And this is now where stable coins come in.
Before tuambie hiyo na irithi Ethereum, you're saying, if I'm getting you correctly, that mimi vile mimi niko, there's a platform I can make my own coins.
Yes.
Na niweke, ikuwe unaiona, you can buy it.
In 5 minutes, yes.
In 5 minutes?
Yes.
How is that different from printing fake money?
Peter Mwangi is the country manager wa Yellow Card, a cryptocurrency exchange platform, and he has dropped by kutusaidia kujibu hizi maswali leo.
There's a lot of fraud in this particular industry, and part of it has been number one.
That's a very bold statement.
Yes.
Peter, a very bold statement. Not just the government is watching.
Lakini kidogo I've stumbled on new information.
A lot of people, including Kenyans, use Telegram to trade cryptocurrency.
Kenyans?
Only.
Which Kenyans?
Between a period of 2 years, between 2021 to 2022, Kenyans transacted 1.3 trillion shillings.
At which
1.3 trillion shillings.
Usianze NFT because,
yes.
First of all, how is NFT an asset? I will download that picture for free and post it as a profile picture if I want. How is it an asset? So if someone steals that USB, they have stolen all your money.
Yes.
Any place or platform that involves money, we all know you need to tread very carefully.
Why would you advise someone to go into investing in a digital asset?
Thankfully, someone is willing to answer all our difficult questions.
So I've seen Kenyans pay in Uganda using the same channel, and it's done in minutes. Mtu akiwa kwa keja yake. One of the things I usually tell people who want to start out in cryptocurrency, only spend at a maximum of % of your dispensable income.
Peter, the government is watching. Sasa ukisema tech bros wanalipwa na stable coins.
Yes.
I believe sasa now the question would be
Our conversation is happening at Wojo, a premium co-working space located in Upper Hill, Makio Hotel, formerly Crown Plaza. A premium co-working space inamaanisha they have the whole idea ya office for you. So when you need office space, when you have office needs, you don't have to go furnish space, you need address. They can give you all that with flexible contracts, and they have very, very beautiful packages that come with getting a space at Wojo, endless supply of coffee, endless supply of printing material, super fast Wi-Fi, and very, very affordable rates. Consumer rate to the quality that you're getting.
Now, one of the most interesting things nimewahi sikia, and I don't know how it gets to me this late, is how you explain the concept of how M-Pesa works.
Yes.
Like you get a message and it means money.
Yes.
Please break it down for us.
Yes.
How the concept works and the ecosystem.
So one of the things that people don't know is that for every amount of M-Pesa that you hold in your phone, there's a physical amount of cash in a trust bank in banks here in Kenya. And this is what gives you the confidence that anytime you transact via M-Pesa, if you go and withdraw, you will receive physical cash. So that's how M-Pesa works. And you know the story of M-Pesa dates back to 2003. That's when the idea of M-Pesa came around.
Trust bank. Kwanza hapa kwa trust bank.
Yes.
Trust bank means not the agent mwenye akona the amount of money.
Yeah. Hiyo inamaanisha ile do umetransact kwa M-Pesa iko kwa bank hapa Kenya, held in trust.
So how does it come that the science?
Yes.
Mshika vitu, I don't know kama mshika pole pole.
Yes.
Like kuna the money that the agent will give you when you show up with a message and you transact there.
Yes.
But there's also an equal amount tena held somewhere else.
Yes, by Safaricom. And this is what ensures that, number one, Safaricom is not creating new money into the system. All they have done is, made the money that you would otherwise have in a bank in a digital form. So the M-Pesa agent has M-Pesa floats, and also he has cash. but the float that he has and the float that I have in my M-Pesa is backed by real cash. This is the reason why we have confidence, and you are sure that anytime you go to M-Pesa, you'll always get your cash. So there'll never be a time in the future when someone goes, to Safaricom and say, "Where is my money?" And they say, "We don't have the cash." So this was actually put in place by the central bank to ensure the security of funds of users.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say the story inaanza 2003,
Yes.
Inamaanisha ideation, toying with the concept, ama?
Yes, the ideation. So the entire idea of M-Pesa was actually started by a gentleman called Nick Hughes, who is also the co-founder of M-Copper. So in 2003, he came up with the idea of using mobile phones to carry out financial transactions.
Okay.
And so he came up with the idea, and they did some experiments. They did pilot programs, and in 2007, March 6th, they launched M-Pesa. I still remember. And as they say, the rest is history.
Unajua, this conversation starts from us discussing stable coins.
Yes.
Alafu you give M-Pesa as an example of stable coin.
Yes.
Unakuja bado unasema ati the stable coin concept was still ahead of M-Pesa, and I ask whether this is the inspiration for the creation of M-Pesa, and you say no.
Yes. So the idea of the blockchain, the cryptocurrency, is not a new concept. It's been around for more than 20 years. But M-Pesa is older than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was started in 2009 as a peer-to-peer digital cash system. So personally, I usually think that actually the founder of Bitcoin copied from M-Pesa.
Not the other way around.
Not the other way around. But the only difference is that Bitcoin is decentralized. So you don't have like a person per se or an institution that owns Bitcoin. But in the way, the model that they works, the concept on a higher level is the same.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, according to the story unasema, what inspires M-Pesa according to your story before tuingie kwa who copied who?
Yes. So M-Pesa, the idea was to, a financial, a tool for financial transactions, especially for microfinance customers. This is a tool in which they can be able to remit payments.
It was originally for microfinance payments.
Exactly. That was where they did the first pilot program, just to see if we give this M-Pesa system, how can people use it to pay their loans to microfinance institutions.
Yes.
So the way microfinance institution used to work is that people will go meet in a kikundi, and then the payments will be recorded somewhere in a book and so on. This was part of it. And then they gave it to M-Pesa agents at first, the agents who were selling airtime. And they were able to transact with it. The concept was proved. And in March 2007, they launched the service.
For everybody.
For everyone into the market. But the genius of it was how they marketed it. The way they marketed it, they just simply marketed it as a way to send funds home, send your money home.
That was deliberate.
Exactly. It was deliberate. It was genius. And it's sort of more or less the same concept that, in my industry, I try to do to simplify the digital asset industry, especially in the way we communicate to people on the ground.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, when you are one of the earliest, acha niseme early people into the cryptocurrency space.
Yes.
Into the cryptocurrency space. So what happens is the transactions kwanza za Bitcoin. It's funny that unasema the people who nasema Bitcoin because we want to break it down because kuna stable coin, which is a whole different thing. Now I was immersed in the Bitcoin cryptocurrency conversation, and I bought into the concept of Bitcoin as the ultimate free cryptocurrency. So now the question becomes, kwa hii peer to peer, like when you mulikuwa mnaenda kukutana na mtu ku exchange.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How has this been solved step by step, and does it mean tumefika mwisho in terms of stability?
Yes, so I actually remember because I was introduced myself to Bitcoin in 2014 by an American who had come in Kenya to launch a fintech.
Okay.
And so in our conversation, he said, "Hey, I see, back in the days I used to run a blog whose focus was on M-Pesa. So first of all, the way I came to learn about M-Pesa is I was in campus, Kenyatta University, studying economics. And back in the days, the way my dad would send me money is that he would go to a bank, withdraw from his account and send it to my account at a local bank.
Okay.
But sometime in 2008, he told me, he's not going to go to a bank. I should sign up for M-Pesa.
Okay.
When I signed up for M-Pesa, the rest is history. I even started a blog just to, document this amazing thing that was happening in the market. Yeah, so when I was introduced sometime in 2015 to Bitcoin, it was way complicated. I couldn't understand how it was working, but when someone sent me some of this Bitcoin into a wallet, we can go further into that. It was actually in a hard drive. And so in the earlier days, the way people used to trade is you would go with a laptop and your hard drive, verify that the Bitcoins are there, then you give cash to the person. So it was very complicated. Nowadays, we sort of have exchanges that have come up and have simplified the process. So exchanges sort of work as an intermediary between two users, and these two users are able to exchange Bitcoin and cash or digital money seamlessly. But it was hectic. It was extremely difficult to understand because the earliest adopters of Bitcoin were software engineers, and they kept the lingo very complicated. Okay. And so one of the things, and I hope in this conversation, is we'll be able to simplify that. And so we have exchanges that have come in place, and one of them is Yellow Card, that now makes it easy for anyone, wherever they are, to be able to sort of own some Bitcoin and get to know what it is.
How long does it take you? Sikuwa najua tu umeingia deep as to create a blog just to praise M-Pesa. How long does it take you to trust the platform?
So that's a very, very good question. It takes quite a bit of time. So there are actually four main factors that determine whether you adopt a new payment system, and especially if it's digital.
Okay.
Number one is the perceived risk. So in the earlier days, I still remember a lot of people are not comfortable in accepting M-Pesa or accepting M-Pesa in a form that, for a business, that is. Okay. So number one is perceived risk. Okay. How risky is this thing? So majority of people will tend to think this is risky. Okay. And I think that's the right attitude. The other one is ease of use. How easy is it to use this particular service? The other one is accessibility. How easy is it to access this particular service? Okay. And the other one is perceived cost. So how much does it cost? So M-Pesa has done a good job in ticking all those those boxes. Okay. But cryptocurrencies or digital assets are still sort of struggling with that. So the adoption process can be very long. Okay. Because number one, you start from a point where you do not know about it. So we still have a lot of people who don't know, say, about Bitcoin. Okay. Then number two, you hear about it. So depending on who you hear from, it can be in a simple way that makes sense to you, or it can be a lot of technical jargon that goes into that. Then number three, the next stage is you sort of develop a positive attitude towards using it. So a lot of people that I've met and spoken to, they have a positive attitude towards, say, Bitcoin or stable coins, but they've never used it. Okay. Now the final stage is actually getting to use it. Okay. And it's only once you've used it, then you can decide, I think this is how I can use this particular digital asset to accomplish my goals or solve my problems.
Unajua, I'm one of the people who tunasema the late adopters, kama kuna kitu kama hiyo ya Bitcoin.
Yes.
And I think I've been sold to Bitcoin very recently. Mimi ni freshman of Bitcoin. But then there's something I'm struggling with.
Yes.
For there's one area I'm not sold on, but as an expert unaweza niambia wa cryptocurrency na digital assets.
Yes.
One area I'm not sold yet, kidogo tu, partially. Like unaona kale ka grain of doubt.
Yes.
When you look at the history of money, there are patterns. The booms and busts, the evolution of Ponzi schemes.
Yes.
Right? And wale wasi, the skeptics who have not adopted Bitcoin look at Bitcoin as a possible Ponzi scheme. In fact, the closest association tumeona ni unaona kama the Bernie Madoff scam.
Yes.
Iliendelea for 17 years. Okay?
Yes.
For 17 years, and then it catches up with him, ile ya kuchukua pesa. Alafu over time, when people get on the platform, the money is used to pay the new investors, right?
Yes.
How sure are people that Bitcoin is is not a new age form of that?
That's a very good question. So first of all, people need to understand that in 2015, Central Bank issued a circular, and they made it clear that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are not legal tender. And so basically what that means is that cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are not regulated and guaranteed by the government or central bank. So when you are conned out there is no one you can run to and say, hey, I lost my money, what's going on? Yeah, so there's a lot of fraud in this particular industry. And part of it has been, number one, a lot of people still do not understand what's going on in the industry. Number two, the industry obviously needs to be regulated. And the reason why it needs to be regulated is to ensure that proper due diligence measures and standards are put in place. And number three, it's the knowledge about how things work. So we have a lot of people who will come and tell you, if you invest your Bitcoin here, your money, you buy some Bitcoin, invest it in my platform, you can be able to triple your money within a month or so. So it's obviously fraud. So there is no one who can triple your amount of money within a month. That can never happen.
If I invest in cryptocurrency, there's no chance that if one day the world decides to move one direction, my money will disappear.
So there are different types of cryptocurrencies. So there are others that are purely speculative. You might invest in them, then the next day their value is zero. Okay. Then we have other cryptocurrency, we call them stable coins. They are pegged to the dollar.
And you compared M-Pesa to a stable coin.
Yes.
So break down for us stable coin, which I believe your company deals with, stable coin versus M-Pesa, the comparison, and why I would put my money in stable coin.
Good question. So first of all, you need to understand that there are different types of cryptocurrencies. There are different types of blockchains. So for instance, the way you have different mobile network operators with various mobile money services, the same way you have different blockchain networks. And Bitcoin is just one of them. So the other one is the stable coins are basically cryptocurrencies that are pegged to the dollar. So there are two stable coins, especially the main ones that are pegged to the dollar, are known as USDT and USDC. So the founders took a certain amount of dollars, placed them in US treasuries, and then created an equal value in cryptocurrencies or the stable coin. And so that now for that one stable coin, it's equal to $1. It's pegged 1 to 1. So its value is stable, doesn't fluctuate like Bitcoin. So for instance, 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin was trading at about $70,000 for one Bitcoin. And a few days ago, its value dropped below $50,000. I think it was $48,000. So it fluctuated like that. But stable coins, they fluctuate in relation to the dollar. But also that's not like 100% guarantee that it will always be like that. But
why not? And it's pegged on currency that exists in US Treasury.
Yes. So why not is because, sometimes we've seen even here in Kenya, local banks themselves collapsing with people's money. Yes. So there is I don't think there is any financial instrument that offers everyone 100% guarantee that this will always be like that. But for the digital asset called USDC, which is also pegged to the dollar, it's regulated in the US. So for that one, I'm sure it's extremely stable because the American regulators are very tough and they are watching us. And so Yellow Card itself also, our founders are American, very young people. And so we apply the same standards that America applies on financial institutions. So we take this seriously. So we've gone to the market, we've scanned the market, and we have looked at the best stable coins. And so we've settled on the ones that are most stable, that we know on the long term that this will protect users' money. You also saw the same thing with fiat, our local currency, Kenya shillings. The way it was trading to the dollar, we saw there was a time it fluctuated badly. I think it reached around 150 something, 160. Yeah, so this happens even in currencies that are backed by the government.
Now, already, let's say the USDT, USDC is backed by the dollar.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Almost the same value. Why don't I just transact with the dollar directly?
That's a good question. Yes. So, the reason why it's a good question is because as a customer, as an ordinary person, you want to know, how does this solve my problem, for instance? And the reason why, and the use cases that I've seen, the reason why people are adopting this is because of, number one, ease of transaction and its accessibility. So for instance, let's say I'm a businessman, I want to import a bunch of cars from China, Japan, and I'm in the market, I'm sourcing for, let's say, $500,000. So I have to walk to a bank, I have to go through the process, the rates, sign these forms. And then once I've signed the forms, the dollars are put in my account. Then I have to fill the details for these dollars for the person in Japan.
Yes.
I have to wait a couple of days, 2 days to 4 days, ensure that the other guy has received the funds. He has to go to his bank, check, yes, I've received my dollars. Now let's transact.
Okay.
So when it comes to stablecoins, that entire process can be completed in less than 30 minutes.
Okay.
So basically, stablecoins are not here to replace the dollar or to replace the fiat Kenya shillings. They come in as an alternative. The same way M-Pesa is not replacing Kenya shillings in any way. It's simply an alternative. I can walk to a shop. I can walk to, if I want to send money to my parents, I can
Yes.
drive there, give them the money, then go back to work. Or I can use M-Pesa and send it to them. So the only reason I'm adopting this is because it's convenient. It's easier to do it. So the same concept applies to stablecoins and to these digital assets.
So to get this in my head, pole.
Yes.
So the person who creates stablecoin is someone who has money. They go deposit this money in a US treasury.
Yes.
And then so that distributes that money digitally.
Exactly. And it's not, the concept itself is not very different from M-Pesa, because for M-Pesa to be able to have launched this service, they must have looked and said, I think our product will be able to get to 6 million people. And we think the average transaction will be this amount. So they had to back that with physical cash, so that when they're issuing float to agents or to anyone else, there's physical cash somewhere in a bank.
Okay.
So they're not creating any money. And that's also what gives me confidence that anytime I go to withdraw money, I know I'll always receive cash. And there'll never be a point in time when you'll go to withdraw your M-Pesa, which was 1,000. Then the agent tells you, by the way, it's now 700 shillings. It's impossible. It will always be the equivalent in shillings. And because it's backed by actual money in a bank. So the same concept now applies to stablecoins, which are actually, they work as digital dollars. And I think that's the right time to use digital dollars.
With the risk yenye iko hapo, why would you advise someone to go into investing in a digital asset?
That's a good idea. So remember when we were starting, we spoke about the 4 factors that determine whether someone is going to adopt a payment system.
Okay.
Number 1, we talked about perceived risk. Okay. So how risky is this? Number 2, we spoke about ease of access.
Yes.
How can I easily access this thing?
Yes. Yes.
The other one, we spoke about the cost of transacting.
Okay.
The other one, we spoke about the cost of transacting and ease of use. How easy is it to use? So once you have those, those facts on your fingers, then you sit down. How risky is this thing? So I can try it out. So last time someone paid me my salary, say $1,000 in stablecoin like USDT. I was able to convert that USDT through cryptocurrency markets, and I received my Kenya shillings. So then I'm able to put a risk factor on that. So that's done. Then I look at how easy was it for me to receive it and to convert it to my local currency, Kenya shillings. Then I put that in check, and then I see. Then I look at what are the costs of doing this. So once I have those facts in my hand, then adopting it becomes very easy. But the challenge becomes that someone has not determined those 4 factors and how they apply to them. That's why ameka tu hivi ako ayuko sure. So you can remember the early days, if you can kumbuka, even after adopting M-Pesa, you could go to a shop and ask, can I pay by M-Pesa? No. Go withdraw.
Yeah.
Because back in those days, there was no till numbers. Someone could just pay you and then reverse the transaction.
That was even before reversal.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so now once we determined that, number 1, this guy will not be able to reverse my payment. Number 2, hata kinilipa na M-Pesa, I can withdraw it in cash anytime I want. Number 2, it's easier to do so. Then it went mainstream. So the same thing will also apply to stablecoins. And so this is why you have now companies like Yellow Card. We train people on those 4 factors of adoption of cryptocurrency. And we even give them some free stablecoins, some $2-3 for them to try it out. And so it's only after trying it out that then someone can decide, will I adopt this or not? Will it solve my problem or not?
So I can make money from that.
Yes. But then again, there are now cryptocurrencies, blockchains that are built, that have utility. So they are built to create value, to create a platform for finance, to create platforms for entertainment, for communication. So one of the new ones and one of my favorites is a blockchain called Ton. Ton is built on Telegram. I don't know if you use Telegram, but right now if you go to Telegram, yes.
Telegram is for sinners.
Yeah, but for communication, it's just like WhatsApp. But right now Telegram has a wallet inside it, and people use that wallet to send each other stablecoins. And a lot of people, including Kenyans, use Telegram to trade cryptocurrencies. So a lot of cryptocurrency trading is not even happening in centralized exchanges like Yellow Card. It's happening in unofficial Telegram groups and WhatsApp groups.
Is this the same concept that I had at some point that someone was developing a concept where it would be possible to send money through WhatsApp?
Yes, the same. Now,
that it's possible to send money through WhatsApp?
Yes, it's not now. It's not possible. I think the owner of WhatsApp, Facebook, was trying that in the US. I don't know how it went, but currently it's happening on Telegram. Currently, I don't know if you just check Telegram, you go to your settings, you'll see a wallet. You can then create a Ton wallet. It also has a USDT. So you can actually send stable coins and another cryptocurrency called Ton to other people. And Telegram has about 1 billion monthly active users who are using it.
Okay.
And a lot of them are already transacting there.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do I join this bandwagon? Already Theo,
Yes.
I mentioned him on the show.
Yes.
Got me sold into the concept of cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Na digital assets.
Yes.
Na the ease of use ilinibamba sana, and I got signed up immediately.
Yes.
And nilikuwa nangaria na maboys wetu wa production sana, like
okay.
cause waliniuza sasa hii Bitcoin ukishakuwa nayo unaenda kuitoa wapi? And I explained to them, right? But how do I join this bandwagon na nipate hii comfort ya before regulation?
Yes.
Is it safe to join if I cannot sleep bila kuangalia my balance?
That's a very good question. So alikuja ku-explain Bitcoin, this is how it works and all that kind of stuff. But now the next step is to find a use case. And for me, I know, for instance, you are a master of your trade. You create content. I'm sure you do some good stuff. So stable coins and Bitcoin, they open the market to people you can work with and how they can pay to you. So right now, you don't have, for instance, to work with advertisers from Kenya only. You can target advertisers from anywhere in the world. And how will they pay you? Stable coins. We just pay you to your stable coins, say in your wallet at Yellow Card, wherever they are. Say, I'll do this project for you. You're gonna pay me, say, I don't know, $25,000. I want you to pay me via USDT or USDT. Here is my wallet. So then it opens the market to the people you can work with. So I already, at the beginning, I spoke about software engineers. This is what they are doing. They're able to develop software for anyone, anywhere in the world. And so today you are developing software for someone in US, the other time Canada, another person in Ukraine, maybe Russia. So do you want, which currency will you be paid to with, and how easy is it? So that's why they're saying, pay me with stablecoins. They have USDT, USDC wallets. Some of them are say, okay, Bitcoin is okay. You can also still pay me with Bitcoin, but I do not advise someone to use Bitcoin for payments. But that's how they're getting paid. So
why don't you advise someone to use Bitcoin for payments?
Yes, the reason why I don't advise people to use Bitcoins, say for payments, especially for person to person. There is a story of a guy, I think in 2017, an American, who spent 10,000 Bitcoins to buy pizza. 2 boxes of pizza. So that value today, if he had kept his 10,000 Bitcoins, its value today is about $700 million. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, so you can use it, but also at the same time, you need to weigh and see, is this the right way to do it?
$700 million.
Today its value today, yes.
10,000 Bitcoins?
10,000 Bitcoins. Right now, one Bitcoin, I think today was about what? I think I checked $68,000.
How does a platform like this solve the problem? Juu tulikuwa tunaongea dollar exchange na dollar exchange. What's the advantage of using a platform that in our cryptocurrency versus fiat currency?
Yellow Card is a fintech company in 20 African countries, and what we do is we make it easy to on and off ramp. So what that basically means, we make it easy for you to convert your local currency to a stable coins and vice versa. So once people see, this is how easy it is, this is why now, in fact, if you go to markets, motorcar sellers, a lot of now motorcar sellers are accepting stable coins as a form of payment. Kenya Mombasa, you will find many carriers, they'll tell you can also pay using USDT, USDC, or even Bitcoin. And the reason why they are comfortable saying that is because wametumia, wameona how it goes. They know if, for instance, they come to Yellow Card, they can convert that stable coin to Kenya shillings easily.
Okay.
Eta kabla uende, you're going to do this in your home, kwa sitting room yako, and you can view the exchange, the rates are there, so you know what you're getting before you do it. So kwa hapo, most of the time the rates are good. They're much better. They are some of the best in the market. And this, someone can verify that by, going to a local financial institution and also checking what's available on the platform. So it's something that someone can verify themselves. So number one, the rates are good. Number two is the ease of transaction. So your transaction yote utaifanya ukiwa kwa sitting room yako, it will take you less than 30 minutes. Most of the time it just takes 3 minutes. The person on the other end atapata do yake. Number two is very cheap. Let's say you are paying the other person on the other end, ulikuwa unamlipa say $10,000, fee yako itakuwa only $4. If you use another network, because there are different networks with different fees, utapata fee yako itakuwa like $0.1, basically cents. Yes. Okay. So it's cheaper, it's faster, it's convenient. Okay. And that's why people are adopting it. So once you find your use case, you use it. So I've seen importers of motor cars using it to pay for their cars abroad. I've also seen Kenyans, I didn't know that Kenyans import a lot of food from Uganda. So I've seen Kenyans pay in Uganda using the same channel. And it's done in minutes, mtu akiwa kwa keja yake. So like I mentioned, I've seen car sellers here in Kenya, local ones, saying, hey, by the way, if you already have these digital assets, why are you, just pay me with it? Because most of the time, if you have relatives abroad, na wanataka kukubuy dinga, they can just buy it to you directly using these stablecoins. So yes, it's usability, it's convenience, and the cost of doing it. Okay. That's the main one that is happening. The other one is for remote workers. We even seen the government pushing for young Kenyans to become remote workers. So we already have remote workers who are getting paid in stablecoins. Okay. So they're doing work for people all over the world. They're doing work for people in US, Canada, the UK, getting paid in stablecoins, payments received chap. Okay. I've seen also another use case of someone who is paying for importing drugs from China, a pharmacy importing drugs from China. They complete these transactions in a matter of minutes, and they do it. So kitambo, he had to go to local financial institution, fill his forms, and go 3 to 4 days. Kama ni weekend ana lake, ama public holiday itabidi angoje. But now this is something they're able to do chap. So it's better that everyone else know how can I use this. But for me, whenever I think about payment system, I usually think, how can I use this to get paid? For me, that's the main use case for whatever service that I'm offering.
Nataka tupatie wasi the first 10.
Yes.
Ni Ethereum ama ni gani? USDT. A stable coin ya kama 5,000. Ingie kwa wallet yao.
Okay.
Alafu in our next conversation, watupatie feedback.
Okay.
So how would we do it? Like if I want to send someone USDT.
Yes.
Right? Mi najua tu exchange. Najua kutuma kwa M-Pesa yangu.
Yeah.
Juu iko hapo, upload na inaingia, naona inanionyesha niko na pesa ngapi in Kenya shillings, na nikienda kwa Bitcoin inanionyesha how much I can buy, right?
Yes.
So tukitaka kutumia mtu USDT, how do we do that?
Yeah, so first of all, what I download?
For someone who has downloaded.
Yes, so if you have already downloaded it, because there is now a KYC process, na umemaliza hiyo yote. So what then they do is that they give you their wallet address. The same way kama nataka kutumia say mobile money, you have to give me your number. So they give you their stablecoin wallet address, then wewe unaingia kwa Yellow Card yako, unaenda hapo kwa USDT, unaweka address yao hapo, unawekea do unatuma, alafu unatuma.
For the security of your account, once you've created your Yellow Card account, usitume your wallet address for the security of your account.
So you can give every person $3, that is 3 USDT. So that would be about total $30.
Oh, that is 30.
Yes.
$30. So you need 30 USDT.
30 USDT, yes.
Sawa, equivalent, tutaangalia exchange rate
yes,
ya yenye inafika 5k Kenya shillings, yenye kiingia kwa account yako ya Yellow Card, una transform, unapata 5,000, the first 10 people, but all you need to do, nitumie your Yellow Card email address. Ukisha apply ile email address umetumia kufungua now the Yellow Card account, nitumie Facebook, Instagram, the first 10, tutaangalia na the time ya yenye imetuma na yenye imekuja. The first 10 priority, 5,000 to test, alafu hiyo 5,000 sasa cheza nayo, buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, buy nini, ukiunderstand cryptocurrency. Hiyo ni ku-experiment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
For making time for us.
Cheers. Yeah, so I hope, hopefully we've simplified this. We've removed all the jargon and, just help people understand that it's the same thing, just a different technology.
100%.
Yes.
Asante.